Attention passionate Green Bay Packers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Green Bay Packers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Green Bay Packers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Green Bay Packers fans. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, I have to tell you, we're living in a truly unprecedented moment in NFL history, especially for the Packers and the NFC North. And no, I'm not talking just about the usual offseason buzz. I'm talking about a potential blockbuster trade that could reshape the entire landscape of the division, and possibly the conference. It's centered around one of the league's most electrifying young defenders, Micah Parsons. Yes, you heard that right. Parsons, the Dallas Cowboys' star pass rusher, who has been regarded as one of the most dominant defensive talents in the NFL, is now at the center of a firestorm, a situation that might finally push him out of Dallas and straight into the Green Bay Packers' defensive front. And let me tell you, if this deal comes to fruition, it will be one of the most shocking and impactful moves in recent NFL history. So let's set the stage. Micah Parsons, at just 26 years old, has already established himself as a generational talent. Since entering the league, he's averaged over 12 sacks per season, earning 3 All-Pro honors in the process, and proving time and again that he's a game-changer. His explosiveness, versatility, and relentless pursuit of quarterbacks make him one of the most feared defenders in the league. But what's really fueling this story is not just Parsons' talent, but the ongoing contract dispute that has now escalated into a full-blown crisis. Negotiations between Parsons and the Cowboys began last year, before the 2024 season, with hopes of securing a long-term deal that would keep him in Dallas beyond this season. But things didn't go as planned. The Cowboys, led by owner Jerry Jones, were hesitant to commit to a lucrative extension, and over the months, the relationship between Parsons and the franchise started to fray. Reports emerged of disagreements over injury management, with Parsons feeling that the team wasn't supporting him adequately during his recovery from injuries. Media narratives began to paint him in a less favorable light, and communication reportedly broke down, especially between Parsons and Jones himself. Parsons publicly voiced his frustrations, stating that he no longer wanted to be part of a situation where he felt disrespected and undervalued. He expressed his displeasure with the way negotiations were handled, especially the lack of direct communication with his agent, and made it clear that he was no longer interested in waiting around for a resolution. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Green Bay Packers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And then, things escalated. Just days into training camp, Parsons took to social media and made it official he had requested a trade. That's a bold move for a player who has been so integral to the Cowboys' defense, and it sent shockwaves through the NFL community. Dallas's response was somewhat dismissive at first, with Jerry Jones claiming that the situation was just part of negotiation. But insiders within the organization and the locker room knew that the cracks were too deep to ignore. The reality is, Parsons is a superstar, and with his contract expiring after the 2025 season, the Cowboys are faced with a difficult decision. They could risk losing him for nothing in free agency, or they could capitalize on his current disgruntlement and try to maximize value through a trade. Now, this is where the Green Bay Packers come into the picture. You see, the Packers' defense has been steadily improving over the past few seasons. They've added some promising young players on the edge and in the secondary, but they've lacked that one game-changing pass rusher who can consistently threaten the quarterback and alter the course of games. Parsons, with his remarkable production and disruptive ability, fits that mold perfectly. Imagine him lining up next to players like Rashan Gary or Preston Smith, creating a nightmare for opposing offenses. His ability to rush the passer, combined with his versatility to drop into coverage or set the edge against the run, would instantly elevate the Packers' defense into one of the league's best. And let's not forget, Green Bay has been amassing draft capital for years, positioning themselves with the future in mind. They've been strategic in building a team that can contend now, but also sustain success over the next several years. The addition of Parsons, who has already earned 3 All-Pro honors and is in his prime at just 26, would be a perfect fit within that timeline. It would give the Packers a legitimate superstar on defense, one who can not only help them compete for a championship this year, but also be a foundational piece for years to come. Now, why should Green Bay consider such a bold move? Well, for starters, the NFL is a league where elite pass rushers are exceedingly rare, especially at such a young age and with Parsons' level of production. The opportunity to acquire a player of his caliber doesn't come around often, and the Packers, with their strong draft assets, are in a position to make a compelling offer. The trade market for a player like Parsons would likely involve multiple future first-round picks, along with additional draft capital, to convince Dallas to part ways. In fact, when you look at similar big trades in recent years, Khalil Mack's move from Oakland to Chicago in 2018, for example, you realize that teams are often willing to part with high-value draft picks for a player who can immediately transform their defense. Parsons' age, combined with his elite talent, and the fact that he's entering the final year of his rookie contract, makes him a prime candidate for such a deal. The strategic move for Green Bay would be to offer a package that includes 2 future first-round picks and a second-rounder. This package would give Dallas maximum flexibility to rebuild their roster around new needs while securing a valuable draft haul. Of course, the Cowboys have publicly maintained a tough stance, suggesting they're not eager to trade Parsons, but the internal realities tell a different story. With Parsons making it clear he no longer wants to be in Dallas, and with the team facing a choice between losing him for nothing or accepting a substantial trade package, the negotiations could heat up quickly. The key here is timing and boldness. The Packers' front office needs to act decisively if they truly believe Parsons can be the missing piece that pushes their defense into elite territory. The window is now, and the potential reward is enormous. This move would not only bolster the Packers' chances of making a deep playoff run, but it would also send a clear message across the NFL that Green Bay is serious about competing at the highest level. It would be a statement that they're willing to pull the trigger on bold, franchise-altering moves, and that they're not afraid to go all in on a young superstar who can be the face of their defense for the next decade. The NFC North would certainly have to take notice, and rivals in the NFC would need to reconsider their strategies with Parsons now in Green Bay green and gold. Looking ahead, the Packers' defense, already improving with young talents, would suddenly have a dominant force leading the charge. Parsons' presence would unlock new schemes, provide pressure on opposing quarterbacks, and create turnovers that could turn the tide of games. His ability to line up in multiple spots makes him a nightmare for offensive coordinators, and his potential to become the face of Green Bay's defense aligns perfectly with the team's long-term vision. The NFL landscape is shifting, and if Green Bay can pull off this trade, they could be the team that takes the NFC North by storm, leaving their rivals scrambling to catch up for years to come. And just imagine the headlines. Green Bay Packers acquire Micah Parsons. NFC North power shift. Packers reinforce defense with young superstar. This isn't just a fantasy, it's a real possibility, especially if the Cowboys decide that holding onto Parsons isn't worth the risk of losing him for free next year. With the right package and a little boldness, Green Bay could make this happen, and fans, I have to tell you, it's going to be one of the most exciting, game-changing moves we've seen in recent NFL history. And now, Green Bay Packers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you think Parsons is the missing piece that can take the Packers to the next level? Would you be willing to part with future draft picks for such a young, elite talent? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Green Bay Packers. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Green Bay Packers news. We're about to witness something potentially historic, and I couldn't be more excited to share it all with you.